You're listening to Bet Big, Talk Loud. Talk Loud. With your host, Chris Hodge and JR.
Welcome to the Bet Big, Talk Loud podcast for Friday, October 24th. I am Chris Hodge. I got my main man, JR, with me. What a show we have planned today. Two-time Super Bowl winner Glenn Cadrez will be joining us, 11-year NFL veteran, won Super Bowls with John Elway. He's got some great stories to tell.
He wanted to come on the show.
Great guy.
He came to you and said, I want to be on the show.
He's a great guy, man. Great guy. So we'll have him. Spoke to him yesterday and really excited to have him on. But let's get right to it, because unless you're under a rock or you're not, anywhere near social media or television, the NBA. The NBA up to their old tricks. And look, I say that, first of all, I love this with the gambling. I absolutely love this, okay? You have a commissioner of a professional league who actually says out loud, we have to check with our partners about these prop bets. He called the sportsbook partners. I mean, can you ever go with anything with that? Like,
what's crazy to me is because back in the past, it was always the Las Vegas Gaming Commission was all over it. Like, especially in collegiate sports. If there was something to call out, they were calling it out. People don't realize how much stuff really went on and got swept under the rug. The NCAA isn't looking to put their dirty laundry out there, right? I mean, the fact that the FBI woke up and literally at whatever time, 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning, knocking on doors and throwing handcuffs on these guys shows you how serious these charges really are. And like you said, I mean, anybody that's dumb enough to think that this isn't going on in places, I mean, we don't talk about it because I don't care.
We're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about it today because
I don't have much of a choice. It's everywhere. My interviews down in New Orleans, he's like, so what do you think about the
NBA?
I'm like, I mean, listen, here's the thing, though. It really is an anomaly, right? Here, there. It's not going on in every game. No. It's not happening
but this is the
every
NBA.
Week. I agree.
Listen, so I'll get to this,
and these
right?
guys make absurd money. It's ridiculous to me.
Well, first of all, let's look at
how stupid can you be?
Let's look at it from an officiating standpoint. Like, what was it? It was the 2002 Western Conference Finals, Kings, Lakers. We had Dick Bavetta. Now, anytime the NBA wanted a matchup, and this is well known, you guys can complain about this all you want to hit me with a lawsuit. I really don't care. This is all well known. All right, whenever the NBA wanted a matchup, they put Dick Bavetta at a game, which is why we're going to hear about Scott Foster eventually, because he's the new Dick Bavetta. But in 2002, when the Lakers and Kings played that game 6 and the Lakers had a parade to the free throw line, right?
Nonstop.
The NBA knew. See, what happened in the Eastern Conference that year was the Nets played the Celtics, okay? And we had the Lakers and the Kings. Now, the league knows if it's a Kings-Nets finals, the league is bankrupt.
Terrible.
Right? No one is watching that. The league wanted, obviously, Lakers-Celtics. Well, the Nets were a really good team that year, and the Nets defeated the Celtics in 6 games. The Kings that year were loaded. They were probably better than the Lakers. That was the year Robert Horry made that three on yard. Yep. Okay. So game 6, they're dead to rights. They are dead to rights. And you have Dick Bavetta just send them to the free throw line. So
one after the other.
Then you had Tim Donaghy. That was a whole big thing.
We could actually talk about that one. They made movies on that.
That was a whole big thing with Tim Donaghy doing what he did. Okay. And like I said, and look, no accusations against this particular referee right now, but unless you're blind, you know that whenever the NBA needs an outcome, Scott Foster gets the game.
You're going to get us kicked off the
That's
podcast.
the truth.
You know you're going to get us kicked off the podcast.
Kick off where they can do whatever they want. That's the truth. Every NBA fan and every person knows that. When they need a result, they go to Scott Foster.
How about when I saw Boomer Esiason making an accusation about the NFC Championship game back.
Oh, that was the when the Rams guy.
Rams and the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, that was.
He said.
How'd you miss that call?
He's like, I never thought it before, but this time, that one, he's like, come on, you're going to tell me it wasn't?
Well, we'll get to football because we had.
How many games have we just this year, I mean, seriously been watching?
Oh, college football?
Been like, I mean, blatant holds, not getting called, and then non-existent ghost holds all over the place getting called.
So we watch games
taking touchdowns away.
We watch games for a living, right?
Yes.
You will see a college football game at 12 o'clock. You'll watch that game, and then the game at 3:30 is officiated completely different. The rules are completely different. It's a different game.
It's insane.
And then you get to the 7:30 game, and you don't even know what you got.
Mm-hmm.
There was a call last week. UCLA was playing Maryland.
Yep.
Okay, go look up this. You could just say UCLA block in the back. The guy on UCLA doesn't even touch the guy on Maryland.
And that's a difference of a cover for us.
And that was a run down to the 20-yard line, 25-yard line.
Yeah, it sure was.
So you just watch
they pushed
this.
that game, -3.
So let me ask you a question right now. So I wanted to get to this because Chauncey Billups, obviously, he's in the poker aspect of it. You had Terry Rozier faking injuries. You had Damon Jones giving out privileged injury information about the biggest star in the league, LeBron James. So you have all this nonsense going on. But let's take out I don't play poker. I personally hate the game, and if I played, I wouldn't be good at it, right? I don't have the patience. I'm like OCD. I can't sit here and do this podcast for a half hour. It like drives me crazy. But you're a good poker player. When you played in Vegas, like, did you ever have a hand that you lost and you're like, wait a second?
Well, never in a cash game, but first off, here when we're here in New York, right? I got invited. It's so funny because this whole happened days after I got invited to a poker game, one of these backdoor poker rooms, and I'm like, I don't play here in New York. And they're like, why wouldn't you play? I don't trust the game.
Dirty, right?
I know they're dirty.
Yeah.
I know the guys that are running these places.
Yep.
They're dirty. I'm not going anywhere near them. And I mean, whether it's people playing for the house or now, how about the X-ray table? That's insane.
I mean, I saw
X-ray
one
table.
with they were saying contacts.
Right. And then they've got the quarterback who's the guy at the table.
That was Chauncey Billups, they said?
Well,
alleged.
And that's
alleged.
the other thing. Like, for him to be in on the hustle.
What are you doing?
I figured when it first got announced, I said, he's going to get off. They were just using his name to attract people to the game, like a headliner. Chauncey Billups plays here. It's a legit game if he's playing, right? Now, they were doing that, and it sounds like he was getting the payoff.
Yeah.
At least he was part of it. I mean, guy's an NBA Hall of Famer and now an NBA head coach. What are you doing? And working with now known mobsters? It's like,
well, what about Rozier?
Shit.
Rozier's got a $96 million contract. You got like Gilbert Arenas. He was involved in over the summer. And I don't understand some of these NBA guys.
Make insane money.
Well, here's the thing. And, this is funny. And you and I hadn't talked about this up until this moment, right? We love doing this podcast. We try to be entertaining. We want to make it entertaining for gamblers and we're going to have some free picks coming up. But let me tell you what I wouldn't be doing if I made $160 million in my career. A fucking podcast. I wouldn't be wasting my time. $160 million. You got to do a goddamn podcast.
The only thing I'm thinking about is, A, what plane am I buying? Okay. And where do I feel like, what beach do I feel like getting drunk at today? That's really all.
I mean, we're
going
well.
to the Caribbean. We're going to France. Where are we going today?
My goodness.
I mean, listen, I do great, right? I mean,
right,
I
we
got
do
a big
well.
family. I do very good. Very happy where I'm at.
I don't make no $160
million. That's I gotta say, that's fuck you money.
That's what that is.
That's what that is.
$80 million is fuck you money. And these guys are doing podcasts and they need the money.
It's
I don't listen.
How
Him
about
and
guys
I,
like Allen Iverson broke after? I mean, all the money this guy made. It's insane.
Him and I, we don't need the money. We're doing this because we want to have fun with it and we want to offer something up.
I like doing it.
We like doing it, right? We just have fun with it. That's it. That's all it is. But I'll tell you this much.
I get the bust on him. So.
Oh my God, this guy, man. But you know what the greatest thing was yesterday? I literally broke out in laughter when I saw this come across. It said the sports books were a victim. You can't make it up. You can't make it up.
Mind you, 2 weeks ago, I do an interview in a particular city. Okay,
this is great.
I do these interviews all over the country, right? You guys know, those of you who've heard me, maybe I shouldn't be naming where I am. They're going to start picking me off all over the place. But I do these interviews around the country. I did an interview in a particular city where I know the guys. They used to interview me 15 years ago. Awesome guys. Do a great interview. Afterwards, they said, we loved it. We want to have you back. Very informative. My goodness, talking about all the different strategies. They loved it. We had it worked out. We were going to do another interview for another, 12, 15 weeks, whatever the contract was going to be. They get a call from
a sports book
saying,
you can't make it up.
You can't do that. They're like, what are you talking about? If you bring JR again, we're pulling our advertising money.
It's amazing.
Are you
true
joking
story?
Me?
True story.
Very true story.
True story.
Why? Well, he's up there telling people don't bet parlays and to use strategy, bet straight bets. Listen, and here's the other thing I laughed at: the prop bet. Right? They're like $13,000 came. I got asked this morning, do you do prop bets? No, there's not enough money in it.
It's unbelievable.
$13,000 when I move on a game. Legitimately, there could be 7 figures with my clients moving on a
and the best part about last night.
And you can only do that straight.
The best part about last night, we've been railing about this for a year now. You know, the sports books are telling you guys what to bet. Last night, another 14 parlay has no shot at winning.
0.
Like, when I checked it, 12,000 people had bet it. $10 a pop.
I had a buddy of mine ask me for some help. I gave him a parlay on the Thursday night game last night.
Chargers?
The only thing, we missed it by 27 yards. We needed 63 yards for Josh Herbert in the second half.
Got you.
Okay, because he was almost at like 193, I think it was, going into the second half. We had him at 250. We also had the Vidal touchdown. We had the Ladd McConkey touchdown. It was a beautiful parlay. It was paying like 16-1. But just I'm actually. That's why you don't do them.
What I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna do something I've never done before, but I'm really sick of hearing it, right? Because and it's not that I'm sick of them, right? There are a lot of small bettors out there, right?
There are,
and they're just trying to make some money. And the emails that I get and the stuff that comes in the most is, you know, and they're not saying it in a bad way. Most of these guys aren't saying it in a bad way. They're like, we feel like you're catering to the bigger guys, and you kind of forgot about the smaller guys. And the only way for a smaller guy to make money is to blow up a parlay. That's the only way he can make money. He's not gonna, you know, if you're betting $100 and you bet 7 games.
Not for nothing. I mean, like, you've got me and one other guy basically that really manage the big players,
sure,
right? I mean, I'm dealing with majority businessmen, guys that got decent bankrolls and are ready to do this more like a business. Right. And then you've got, I mean, geez, we get how many people that are small players, $25, $50, $100 bettors calling. And at first they think they're just calling for the free pick. Yep. A lot of them do sign up. And they get in with one of the regular services, and they love it. They're around years and years and years. And even the smaller players, the guys that are never going to get big, they go to takingvegas.com.
Yep.
And they wind up getting picks on. How many clients you got on Taking Vegas that have been coming there for over a decade?
Oh, my God.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's uncountable. Can't count it. Uncountable. I don't even know if that's a word.
It's pretty awesome. So.
Yeah, can't be counted. But, you know, to our point, and I'm actually going to give you guys, when we do the free picks, because I'm not allowed to give out the free pick that we're going to give out on Sports Investors Daily.
Anymore. What's your record on the podcast?
2-4.
You're not allowed to give free picks.
Well, hold on for a second now. Wait a second. Hold on for a second. Who picks all the free picks for the entire company everywhere we got to give them? You got to give out one free pick. I've already given out 19 in San Diego alone.
Stop. Why are you giving them 3 games at a time?
That's what they asked for.
That's
what they asked for. They had one on Saturday, one on Sunday. It's not folding. It's giving the people what they want.
Why are you giving away 3 free picks on air? How are you going to find good clients that way?
Here's the guy's been in the business 30 years. You know when he made the most money? When he met me. And he can't even look in the camera and say otherwise.
It's not necessarily true.
Oh, it's not.
We talked about it. My year in Vegas. My years in Vegas. There was one in particular where unbelievable money.
Okay.
I mean, insane money.
Yeah,
and that was also, I was first place in the contest the only year I did it, the entirety of the season.
Yeah, but when you met Uncle Chris, you had your best year, so that's all good. Anyway, we talking about referees, right? And want to segue over to that because I don't know if you guys heard the story. I know you have. Georgia Auburn, the referee who did that game a couple weeks ago, and that was the game where Auburn had the touchdown. It looked like he went over the goal line. They ruled it no touchdown on the field, and it looked like they had the angles synced up where they show him score. And they don't give it to him. And then you had Kirby Smart calling timeout and then saying he was clapping. Oh, it's beautiful.
I mean, you got to be kidding me on that call.
So we were watching that game, right? And you and I were watching that game together, and we're looking up at the screen like this. Like, we literally were like... I
can't believe your television made it through that game.
Literally looking like this is a fixed game, and I have no problem saying that. Like, this game looks like it's...
And in our line of work, we don't ever say that kind of shit.
Correct.
Ever.
This is just conversation him and I are having.
After the fact.
Right, and we're looking up at the screen like, what are they doing to Auburn in this game? What are they doing? And then what happens? 2 weeks later, they suspend the referee indefinitely, which means he's suspended for life.
God only knows what's really going on there.
So you have that, and look, we have watched, we just said it a few minutes ago, we watch a game at 12 o'clock, it's officiated differently than one that's reffed at 3:30 and so on and so forth. But you get into coaching now. So there's a guy from Michigan State. This guy's beautiful. This guy is beautiful. So go look it up. Michigan State was down 38-10 to Indiana. Indiana was minus 26.5. This guy kicked a field goal with 20 seconds left in the rain to cover the game. So you're watching that, you're like, that's odd. Then we do a little research because that's odd. Who the hell kicks a field goal down 38-10? You're down 28 points. What the hell are you doing kicking a field goal?
You have to go for the touchdown. It's not even up for debate.
This guy, go look this up. Last year when they played Oregon, they were plus 22.5 in that game. They were down 24. He kicked a field goal with 20 seconds left. So it's almost like this guy knows he's going to get fired, and he's just trying to appease. Like, yo, I covered
boosters.
I covered the spread.
You guys covered, right? But no, when we talked about this, he's not doing it for any other reason, in my opinion. Listen,
knows the
you
point
think
spread.
that coaches don't know spreads, right?
They know the spread.
And they know boosters are betting the games whether or not they admit to it or it's part of it. There's no conversation about it, but it is one of those, everybody knows it, but we can't talk about it kind of thing that they want them to cover. They want them to cover. The boosters love betting their team. Yeah. And hey, I mean, if my ass is on the hot seat, what better way to make them
no one says
a little happy by just getting that cover?
So if I'm on Michigan
you
State,
and I are going to talk about it. If we were commentating that game, I would have been like, well, there's only one reason this guy's kicking a field goal.
Absolutely. and if I'm on the team and we're down 38-10 and I see the field goal team running on the field with 25 seconds to go, I'm like, what the hell are we doing? I bet a game, if I'm a college athlete, they throw me out of the world. Like, you're not, like, you can commit crimes and get back on the field. Michael Vick killed dogs. They got welcomed back. You got gamble. If you gamble on a game, you're done forever.
Done.
You are done forever.
Unreal.
I mean, you could beat up people. Hell, you could commit murder and somehow get back into the league. But if you gamble,
Ray Lewis,
right, Hall of Fame, a great player, right? But at the end of the day, man, if you gamble, if you bet on your own sport, God forbid, or if you bet on another sport, it's like that is the worst crime.
And I never understood that one. Why? Okay, if an NBA player is betting a hockey game, what does that?
What do you care?
I don't understand how that would have any bearing on that man's career. I really don't.
It's
and we've spoken about the whole Beasley thing, like how this guy is not getting paid, and it's still not on an NBA team. Never got indicted. Never got found guilty of a crime. But hey, no, can't. And wasn't he? I would believe he was up for 6th Man of the Year.
Listen, you have, and listen, I don't.
Horrible.
In these sports leagues, you basically have every type of crime committed by somewhere, somewhere. They have every time something happens at all these points, and somehow a lot of guys, not all of them, because some of them are really serious, they get back into the league. If you gamble on your own sport right now,
done.
You are done forever.
Done
forever. It's like the biggest crime
not
there
for
is.
Nothing. You should be. I mean, you should be. I'm okay with that rule. Make it crystal clear. Hey, dummies, don't bet on your own league. You could go bet, if you're a football player, you could bet UFC. You could bet baseball. We don't care. But if your dumb ass bets on your own sport, we're telling you, signing this contract stating you're not going to do it. But if you do, you're out. You're gone forever. There's no coming back. Suspended for life. I'm fine with that.
All right, so now I'm going to get to a free play today. Now, I'm going to give you guys what you wanted. Okay, because you can get the free play on Sports Investors Daily tomorrow, which is college football game in the month.
By the way, I don't cheer for him to lose, but we have a bet. That he's not going to pay. But that's why I constantly put pressure on him on the podcast. He's going to win 1,000 other free picks. This one here, the pressure here with me, putting him on the spot, and he'll pretend he has. He's been studying hours to get mine.
I study hours for the customers. That's my job. I study, I'm watching, but there's only a certain amount of free picks you can give out. But here, I'm going to give you this one. Now, look, if I were to ever give you a 16 parlay, I would preface that with saying this has no shot to win. If I gave you a 16 parlay on a Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to tell you this has no shot to win. It is what it is. I'm going to be honest with you.
Ticket.
Which is why we only give out single game bets when we do our Sports Investors Daily. Single game bets, single game totals. But I'm going to give you a futures. I think you're going to like this one. Okay? For NFL divisions. Now, here you go. Smaller bettors. Here you go. $100. This pays back $4,500.
Wait a minute.
Futures NFL divisions. I'm going to give you.
So we're not going to have a win or loss for next week?
I'll count the game tomorrow for my game, for my college game, college game in a month.
All right, so hold on. He's going to give this whatever parlay that he's trying to get out of.
Dude, I'm sick of answering the emails.
But when we're done with that, you're going to give a play on air that we can judge you on for next Friday.
Right, I got to help.
Tough shit.
I got to help the smaller players out here. So here you go. So division parlay. Okay. Lock this all up. $100 pays 45 to 1. Okay. Eagles to win their division. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Rams to win their division. Lions to win their division. So those are the three in the NFC. Okay. Go over to the AFC. Kansas City, who I think right now might be the best team in the AFC, to win their division.
For 2 weeks.
Okay. Kansas City to win their division. Indianapolis to win their division.
Best record in the NFL. How are you going to argue that?
Pittsburgh to win their division. So you got all that?
Rest of their division is falling apart.
You got that now? So there's for all the smaller players out there, okay, that you say we never help you guys, which ain't even true, okay? For all you guys out there that sending emails and all the nonsense, there's your $100 futures parlay to make $4,500.
I think you got the AFC locked up. The NFC can be a little problematic. We'll see.
Detroit, Green Bay could be a little tricky.
I agree.
I don't think the Eagles are not winning that division.
Same here.
I believe the Rams are going to win their division. I think
They
Seattle's going to fall off. I think the Rams are the best team in that division.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And they have a weak division, which makes it easy for them.
You know, and I got the injury stuff now. Purdy has his toe going on, and toes have been.
Been going
Joe
on.
Burrow,
Everyone turf toe. Never heard it so much. It really is crazy.
No, and last night, for everyone who was on board, we hit with the Chargers in that game. I have my
can we make it clear? Because my clients, after I did the interview in New Orleans and the interview in Alabama, and I mentioned the Chargers last night, I didn't get the Chargers game. Was not a VIP game. It was a regular service play, which is great. That goes out to the masses. My clients all know. If you're a client of mine, be very aware that we set the table last week. We won like crazy. Sunday was incredible. Won everything in sight, swept the board. And now we're coming into this week, taking that profit and rolling it over on 2 games. One Saturday, one Sunday. Been talking about it for weeks. This is what we're doing. So we didn't use the Chargers last night as much as I wish. Monday morning quarterback, give it to all of you, but that's not the case. That was not as strong as what we're doing on Saturday morning, rolling it over into Sunday morning. So that being said, go ahead.
Makes sense. Okay. You listen to Sports Investors Daily tomorrow. We have a college football game in the month, which is 10-2-1, dating back to the last 3.5 years. Sports Investors Daily is all over the country, so make sure you check that out. You can check out takingvegas.com. We're going to have Glenn Cadrez coming on in just a moment. He'll be here in about 5 or 6 minutes, so that's great. So you get to your free pick. You've been doing a great job. Your free pick last week, Monday night game, Detroit. Easy winner. All right. What do you got for this week?
All right, so I'm going with a total, okay? You've got Lamar Jackson coming back playing Baltimore Ravens football. They're going to be able to score points. But here's something no one's talking about. Baltimore Ravens defense, not only the worst in the NFL, the worst the NFL has seen in over a decade right now. They're that bad. And it's not like they're getting pieces back to the defense. And Chicago has been playing, I don't want to say great ball, but Caleb has been much better. Okay, he's getting rid of, you can see the difference. He's getting rid of the football much faster. He's not taking the sacks. That offense is starting to come together. Everyone was questioning it beginning of the season. Ben Johnson, is he really the guy? He was on the hot seat after like 3 weeks, which is absolutely insane. But now we're seeing some continuity. There's some really good synergy on the field between wide receivers and Caleb. And even the running game is getting going. I'm expecting a lot of scoring. That number opened 48.5. It's up to 49.5 when we're taping this now. I'm telling you it's going to go to 50, 50.5, maybe even 51 by kickoff. Lock that in. Go over 49.5. Bears versus Ravens, lock it in.
Now, am I allowed to give out the free pick that I got to pick for tomorrow on Sports Investors Daily? Am I allowed to give out that right now, or I got to give out a separate free pick?
You can't put the one that's going out. Why are they going to call if you're giving it to them on the podcast?
Oh my God! All right, here it doesn't. You don't make any sense. All right, here we go. Just on the spot in a game I looked at. Here we go. BYU in a really tough situation. They played a great game last week against Utah. We were on BYU last week.
That was a VIP game.
I'm going to go against them this week. I'm going to go with Iowa State. I think Iowa State gets the job done at home, so there's the free pick.
They don't play as well on the road anyway, BYU. But when they're at the Rock, my God,
man, they've come off
places.
They've come off 2 really, really tough games, and Iowa State's a good football team at home. So that now listen, complete transparency. Okay, that is not the game of the month that you will hear about on the radio tomorrow because I'm not allowed to do it. I got to pick free picks all over the place.
If you want the game of the month, call 888-994-6669 on the recorded line tomorrow morning. It'll be there Saturday morning. There you go.
That's a good ad.
Nice, easy promo for you.
Nice, easy promo. Last night, real quick, we'll get into Chargers get the job done over Minnesota. Thursday night, home teams now 6-2 straight up. Look at Pittsburgh and Green Bay. Pittsburgh, a home underdog. Just going to give you guys some quick stats. They're a home underdog in that game, and Mike Tomlin for his career is 21-7-3 as a home underdog. Mike Tomlin's like a clockwork coach.
He really is.
You know, he'll win. He'll never have a losing season. He'll always win after a bye. He'll never win a Thursday night road game. Okay, and
you can't say never, but
I mean, he's never won a Thursday night road game against a divisional opponent, so he's never done that. And as a home underdog, he's pretty good. So that's a stat right there to look at. So there's a lot of interesting things going on for the weekend. We'll have you locked and loaded. You could also check out takingvegas.com. And for everyone who's involved, you all know about the chip play. That's a Chris Hodge insider play. You all guys know about that. If you're involved, if you're not, I can't help you. It is what it is. But only the people that are involved with us.
So what would the JR insider play be? Is that J-Rip?
J-Rip. Yeah, I like that. J-Rip.
J-Rip.
J-Rip. Keep it right here. We're going to have Glenn Cadrez coming on with us. He got some great stories.
Finally, not somebody better looking than me.
Hey, he's better looking than you, bro. Yeah. Keep it right here. All right, back here on the Bet Big Talk Loud podcast, I have special guest, two-time Super Bowl winner, 11-year NFL veteran, Glenn Cadrez with me. Glenn, thank you so much for coming on. I am so excited about this particular interview, but there's one question before we get to the Monday night game that I know you like. I have to ask this because I am located in New York, and you, my friend, you were drafted by the New York Jets. So the first question I have to ask you was it like heaven getting away from that organization and going over to Denver and winning Super Bowls?
It was one of the greatest decisions of my 11-year career,
Typical.
to be honest with you.
Typical, man.
Yeah.
And they drafted you. They drafted you in the sixth round. But boy, what a favor they did for you, right?
Well, I'll tell you. So on draft day, Marv Levy called me in the morning, and it was the second day. We had 12 rounds back then, and he called me the second day, and he said, "Hey, we're taking you in the sixth round." And that had been kind of the thing, you know. All the scouts and everyone was like, "Buffalo's taking him." So I was like, "Okay, great." I get a call about a half hour before the Jets pick, and it was Miami Dolphins, and they said, "Hey, we're taking you in the sixth round." And I was like, I went and looked up this guy. I was like, "Oh, Miami's going to take me before Buffalo. Okay, I'm going to be with Dan Marino, Sunshine. Okay,
Great.
cool." And then the phone rings like 20 minutes later, and I'm like, "Oh, this is Miami. This is Miami." Like, and I answer the phone, and it was Pete Carroll, and he's like, "Hey, we drafted you in the sixth round." I go, "Who?" And he's like, "The Jets." I was like, "The Jets." I didn't even know. I knew one person, Al Toon, on the Jets. And only because my roommate in college, his dad was the head coach of the Oilers, Jack Pardee. And so we went to the game, and that game happened to be the Jets. And I remember Al Toon. So anyway, I ended up in New York. Never been to New York. Love the food, love the people, but that organization, I wish them well, but I'm glad I was able to move off to Denver.
I bet. And listen, this segment right here is sponsored by GirlsThatGamble.live. Again, we got Glenn Cadrez, and he has a big Monday night pick we'll get to in just a moment. It just seems like that organization, man, it just seems like nothing's ever changed with them. There was a kid, I don't know if you saw the video, it seems like it's everywhere, it's viral. They interviewed a kid after the game, just walking out. He's like, "I hate this Jets team. I was born into it, but I just hate it." It's a great video.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. That was.
Now,
that's typical.
So you get away from the Jets. Now, I think the year you get away from them right after that was their 1-in-15 year where just like everything went wrong, and you end up in Denver where you win 2 Super Bowls. So before we get to that, I have to ask, because it was really like the golden age of quarterback play. You played against and with Hall of Famers, John Elway, Dan Marino, Montana, Young, Aikman, Moon. I know he was your teammate, but give me a fair critique right here. Was John Elway, of all those quarterbacks, was he the best one you played with and against?
I'll tell you this, because of course I'd be biased, but I'll tell you this. If you ran this exercise, if you took all of the top offensive minds, offensive coaches in the history of our league, and you put them on a team, and you took the top 20 quarterbacks in everyone's mind, I think we can all agree with pretty much the top 15, 20 quarterbacks, and you were to strip their name from the jersey and you were just to put a blank jersey on and you were to say, all you guys go out there and try out to be the starter, I think John Elway would be the starter.
Really?
9 out of 10. I think the majority of offensive minded coaches would look at what he brings to the table, and I think they would start him number one more times than any other quarterback out there. And that includes Mahomes. He's bigger. He can move like Mahomes. People don't realize like this guy was he was an exceptional athlete. The baseball type shortstop with the quick hands and the slide in the feet and getting, turning two. He had all of that. He had a massively strong arm. He was very accountable in the locker room. So it was I just think they would put him as their starter going over everybody.
So I feel like, before he got his Super Bowls that you were obviously a part of, him and Dan Marino were like the same guy, right? Like Marino hadn't won the game. And really the difference there is Elway ends up with 2 and Marino ends up with 1. But a lot of people that I've spoken to always tell me that they felt Dan Marino was the best thrower of the football that they saw. I know you played against him a couple times a year in the AFC East. Do you think that's true, or you're still like it was Elway?
I think in that same scenario, I think Marino would be the backup.
Really?
He would be number 2. Yeah, he was exceptional. The latter part of his career, like we had a stat going into the AFC champ or the playoff game in '99 against him that he hadn't thrown a ball further than 20 yards in the air. He'd made a 15-yard completion and the guy ran for 50 or 60, but he hasn't thrown a completion in the air for more than 20 yards. So we kind of played up, and that there was things that he just couldn't do. We knew to flush him out to the left. There was just things that, and John in his last year, he was, helicoptering tackles and still throwing the ball at great speed. So I just, but Marino in his prime he was phenomenal. Yeah, there was a lot of great quarterbacks. I think that was the era of great quarterbacks. Not to say that what we have now is the product that's putting out there on the field now is great, but it's 7-on-7. Okay, they're not playing football. They're not getting hit. I mean, imagine you're going back there looking for your receiver, and you have Reggie White and Lawrence Taylor who not only will hit you, they'll hit you low, they'll hit you high. They're gonna knock you out of the game.
And
like that's what.
And look, we spoke about that. And again, 2-time Super Bowl winner right now with us, Glenn Cadrez. This segment is sponsored by girls.gamble.live. Before I get to the Super Bowls, and everyone wants to hear about that, you and I were talking, you're a little older than I am. You had, grown up playing in the late 80s, obviously pro career into the 90s. So take me through what you feel that was versus what you're now watching today as a former professional athlete.
Well, I was 92 to 2002. So that era, obviously 93 was we got player bargaining agreement done, so free agency. So that opened up a whole new era, But basically, the owners looked at the product and said, we make a lot of money with this guy, and this guy, and these positions, and we don't want them hurt. And that's and they're protecting their commodities, they're protecting their business, and I don't blame them. Having boys, I'm very cautious, and that like my kid got a concussion in high school the other day, and I'm like, okay, you're done, 2 weeks, done. Whereas we didn't have concussions back then. You just put,
And we were talking about that yesterday. We're like, what the hell? Get back in the game. What the hell is wrong with you?
Oh, you rung your bell? Okay. I remember a coach telling me I got knocked out of a game in Minnesota, and he the next day he's like, you better not be no mushhead. Like, you better not be getting these all the time. I'm like, yeah, I get you. So it's a completely different game, but at the end of the day, it's safer. It's a safer game. It's a huge game. It's so Americana that we're bigger than any other sport combined. And, keep these guys standing. I mean, I don't want to watch the Bengals unless Joe Burrow's playing.
And what happens? A toe takes him out. We were just talking about that earlier. Like, crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
and even in the gambling world, I mean, gambling's what keeps. We're out of the 100 top TV shows, the NFL 96 football games are the top 96. Like we outrate everything out there, Emmys, Oscars, whatever it is. So and like the gambling world with all the fantasy and all that stuff, it's like women are into it. Everyone's watching it because they've got, a little deal on it, a little fantasy or whatever it is, knockout pools and all that. So it's really become very much a part of Americana, and it's like church, man. It's like Sunday. It's like, okay, it's a ritual, guys, they dress up, they have their little caveman rooms and or the tailgate parties or whatever, and it's great. It's awesome. I think football is just a great sport for our country, and it's like who we are.
It's funny that you brought up church because I believe it's a scene in the movie Concussion, and the doctor is talking. He was like, God used to own Sundays. Now the NFL owns it. Like,
Yeah.
that's right. It's like, wow, it's a great line. So,
Right.
So Glenn, take me through, obviously, mindset going into, you played for two Super Bowl champions. What's the night before a Super Bowl like? Like when you're sitting in the hotel room and you just finished up your last team meeting and you're about to go to bed, if you can sleep at all, like what's that mindset like of, you're 24 hours away from the biggest game of your life?
Well, my first Super Bowl was in San Diego, and that's where I'm from. I was 8 years old when my dad took me to my first game. Same stadium. I knew exactly where we sat. I could look at it and point. So to me, it was just the most surreal thing in the world. Like I actually my condo. I took the trolley home from that Super Bowl. It was
Wow.
packed, and I was in the trolley right because I was like down like a mile away. So it was absolutely crazy. It was just one of those things where I just wanted it to start. I just wanted
Right.
this dream to come to get over and like reality start setting in, and so obviously the game was pretty exciting and all that, and we end up winning, and first time Denver wins, and it was great for the city, and it was just awesome. And then the second Super Bowl, I was a starter, and the first one I played special teams and I played nickel downs. So the next one was a lot more special. I had a lot more responsibility. I was a starting middle linebacker. I was a long snapper on punt. So I had a lot of butterflies and a lot of anticipation in that game. But we had a great stretch for the whole season, so it wasn't like I was nervous. I was very confident in what I can do and what we can do, and so it was just fun. It just turned into, put your mind in, you're in the backyard saying, hey, this is the Super Bowl, and like this actually is. So it was phenomenal. I couldn't my life has just been exceptional. Like the fact that I got to experience that and having the passion of football that I had and get to play in that game like that, it's just, I can't even describe.
So from a team perspective, that first Super Bowl, you guys were the hunters. I don't believe you guys were favored in the last three games you played, and Green Bay, I believe, was a heavy favorite in that Super Bowl. So you guys were the hunters. The second Super Bowl, you were the hunted, right? You
Right.
had to go in. You guys were undefeated that year, and it's funny. You and I were talking the year that you were undefeated, 13-0. I was actually at the game in the Meadowlands when I believe it was Kent Graham, who was the starting quarterback for the Giants at the time, ended a 13-0 run for you guys basically on a Hail Mary. So you guys were the hunted that year. Did losing that undefeated stretch, we hear this a lot with professional sports, like when it's done being undefeated. When that, was that more of like a help to you guys not going undefeated, or would you have really liked to go undefeated that year?
I think everyone thought that we were going to go undefeated and wanted to go undefeated. But then once it was over, every interview was like, well, you know what? I'm glad that's over. Now you guys don't talk about it anymore. Now we could just focus on what we're trying to do. So it was, it hurt. It was, believe me, the plane ride home, people shook their head like, damn it. We could have done something special. And then at the same time, it was like, well, that's not even our goal. Our goal isn't to go undefeated. Our goal is to win the Super Bowl. So let's do that. And then it showed the same. I mean, the next week we played Miami with literally a game plan right out of minicamp. We it was the most basic game plan we've ever had in my 11 years, and they beat us, and we knew we were playing them again. So we were just kind of like, yeah, okay, well, you're going to come to Mile High, and then we just put a real beating on them that year.
So it's funny, and about 5 minutes ago, you mentioned gambling. That's a story right there, right? Like a lot of the gamblers out there do not realize that you guys went and played an NFL game with basically a camp, game plan, right? And, if you bet on, Denver's not going to lose 2 games in a row, they're the best team in the league, not even realizing you guys are showing up with a game plan because you don't want to show anything because 3 or 4 weeks later, you got to play the same team.
Right. And I mean, I guess some good handicappers can look at that and say, well, Denver's home field advantage. The Super Bowl goes through Denver. Miami's going to play them again. What's Denver really going to do? Because we didn't give a shit about if we're 15-1 or if we're 14-2. We still have home field advantage. So, yeah, I think that takes precedence in a lot of situations in games.
Yeah, a lot of people, they don't know what really goes into it. I say it all the time. You don't know how someone in the NFL, and I know y'all attest to this, that game plan changes every single week. Like one week you might throw the ball 40 times, and one week you might run it 40 times. And it just changes based on the specific offense or defense that you're seeing. And a lot of people who gamble on sports, especially football, they really don't realize that, this team, they just put 52 on them easily, and now they're struggling to score 20. Well, there might be a reason for that.
Right. Absolutely.
So, again, this segment sponsored by Girls.Gamble.live. So, interesting Monday night game. Glenn, you and I were speaking about it. It looks like Washington, their season got a little derailed here with the injuries. They play a game last week. Their 3 top receivers are out, and then they lose their starting quarterback midway through the game, and Dallas just paced them. And then, it's funny, right? Like Kansas City, they start the season 0-2. And then everyone, this is the end of Kansas City, this, that, and the other. And all of a sudden, Kansas City goes and they roll off 4 out of 5 wins. And the one game they lost, they get beat by Jacksonville basically in the last minute of the game. Kansas City, a big favorite in this game. What do you think is going to happen on Monday night?
Well, the addition of the 2 receivers, they got their 2 top receivers back, Washington, right?
Correct.
And I think Mariota is good enough. And I know the head coach is good enough to have a game plan to get the ball out of his hands, put it in their hands. They're really good with yards after catch. So I think Washington can move the ball. I think when you lose 2 games, sometimes playing on the road, it's kind of a privilege. It's a good thing. You kind of bond a little more, and it's kind of like us against the world, and we don't really want to face our fans. We're humiliated, we don't really want to face them yet. Like, let's go over here, regroup, and I mean, what a great place to play. It hypes you up. It's the loudest stadium in the league. So Monday night, I think Washington's going to be able to run the ball because and a lot of play action with these 2 receivers with high percentage passes where they can move the ball down the field. I think they can get 12 play drives on them and put up some points. And then I think on the other side, Kansas City's super hot. I mean, they're super. You're not going to slow them down. You're not going to. I mean, you're going to slow them down by keeping the ball out of Mahomes' hands. That's the only way. But other than that, they're going to put up 28, 35 on you. I would probably take what's the point spread, like 12?
So point spread is 12.5, and Kansas City just laid that number against Las Vegas. So it's very rare in the NFL where you're a double-digit favorite and you cover both times. But it seems like to me, 47.5, you kind of figure in a high-scoring football game at Arrowhead on Monday night.
Yeah, and like all the numbers would point to that line being like 14, and it's not, and it's kind of telling me that. Washington can get a backdoor cover at the least. I think they are going to put up points. I could see them putting up 17, with the new receivers and so I would look at a backdoor cover. I would probably take the points.
Okay.
Totals I'm not really. To me, it's like a coin toss, because you just don't know what game plan they're going to do. They could be in a risky high blitz and man-to-man coverage type thing that they want to show the next team. I think Kansas City plays Buffalo. Their defense might want to show a lot of man. They might want to show a lot of something else that they're not going to do against Buffalo. So the totals are they're tough on me. I don't really would play those. I would probably look at the over.
But yeah, I mean, leaning towards the underdog there. And look, to your point about game plans, Kansas City plays on Monday night. Now, look, we're not taking anything away from Washington. This team played in the NFC title game last year. This is a good football team when healthy. But Washington, Buffalo. Who do you think right now has Kansas City's attention, right?
Yeah.
So they're playing Monday night. They got a short week, and they got to play, or go over to Buffalo. So to your point about game plans, they might play a vanilla game plan and might just say, hey, let's just win this game, get out of town, and it might be prime for Washington to cover the 12.5.
Yeah, and good teams, they say that saying, like, just don't wreck the Ferrari. Like when you've established yourself as a top tier team like Kansas City obviously is, the coach has a lot of confidence in a simpler game plan and execution. Like, hey, they know how to win and they know how to not lose, which means, hey, let's not lead the game in penalties. Let's not drop passes. Let's not, all these unwanted holding calls, turnovers. Let's just eliminate that. We'll beat this team. Whereas when a lot of times you got to go in like, hey, we've got to score. We've got to rush the ball. We've got to do this. We've got to do this. We've got to do this. A lot of times when you have a really good team, you can just say, hey, let's just not do this. Let's play conservative. We've got a bigger game next week. So, I think Kansas City knows how to do that. So I think they're going to win the game, no doubt. But I just think 12 is a little bit too much, and that backdoor probably something that would happen.
Yeah, especially on a primetime Monday night game. It's hard to cover double digits 2 weeks in a row. I got to ask you one more question. I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here because this is something I'm interested in right now. We all know Terrell Davis was a great running back, right? Mm-hmm. But to me, Terrell Davis, he didn't play long enough. When he played, he was probably one of the top 3 or 4 running backs in the league. But it seems like he didn't play long enough, and he got into the Hall of Fame. Now, I know you played with him. I'm not, he's your teammate, he's your boy. But do you think Terrell Davis, legitimately, truth serum in the arm, was he a Hall of Fame running back?
In my book, yeah. I think, what Terrell, and I agree with longevity weighs a lot, in considering stuff like this, like Hall of Fame. But my criteria with Hall of Fame is every week when you play another team, the scout team will wear a different colored thing on their head or a jersey, a red jersey with the number. Like if we're playing San Diego, you're going to have 55 Junior Seau. You're going to know where he's at all times on the field. And I think Terrell, they 100% focused on him you had to stop Terrell. You cannot beat us if you don't stop Terrell. And that 2,000-yard year easily could have been 2,500.
Really?
Easily could have been 2,500. He missed like 8 quarters. We would pull him at halftime. We'd pull third quarter. We'd pull him easily 2,500. There was a lot of good backs after him because Alex Gibbs' running system, Mike Shanahan's running system was so good, but they weren't Terrell. I mean, Terrell, it was the perfect system for his perfect running style, Barry Sanders couldn't have went in that system and run that one cut downhill type running. So it was just one of those things where he was at the top of the food chain for the short period of time, but he was at the very, very top. That running game was unstoppable. I'm telling you.
And then you put it with John Elway, and then it's just, hey, back-to-back Super Bowl champions. Now, I know you have a business venture going. It's not coming up soon. It'll be more in February, and we're going to have Glenn Cadrez back on before the Super Bowl. But I'm just going to drop a hint here. We don't have to talk about it. If you want an Airbnb in Cabo right on the beach, this might be the boy to go see. He'll have it ready in February, so we'll talk about that.
That's right.
The next time.
Yeah, we will.
Yep.
We will. I'll be there. I'll be there during the interview on that. So
I love it. Yo, Glenn
have a better
Cadrez,
view for you.
thank you so much. This was sponsored by GirlsThatGamble.live. It's been a pleasure getting to know you, Glenn. Thank you so much for coming on. I hope you had a great time.
My pleasure. You too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, bud. Have a good one.
You too.
Go Broncos.
All right, that's going to wrap up this edition of the Bet Big Talk Loud podcast. We're sponsored by TakingVegas.com and GirlsThatGamble.live. Special guest, the 2-time Super Bowl champion, Glenn Cadrez, came in. That was a great interview. I hope you guys found it very interesting, and he did a great job, so we're thankful for him, and he gave out a free pick. Thinks that Washington is going to come through with a late cover against Kansas City on Monday night. They're plus 12.5 as of right now. Again, it's Friday. It's 3 days before the game. So he looked at Washington and maybe a slight lean towards the over. You had JR give you the over in the Baltimore-Chicago game. He really likes that. JR has been doing a great job with his NFL free picks. I gave you a free pick on Saturday for BYU and Iowa State. We're going to use Iowa State in that game. And then also, if you go back later, early in the podcast, for all the small players out there, I've heard you, and I know there's a lot of you, and we want to help you. I get it. I don't believe in doing this quite often, but I gave you a 6-division $100 parlay, which should pay $4,500, so you can go back and check that out inside the podcast, Bet Big, Talk Loud. Be sure to check out takingvegas.com, girlsthatgamble.live. Also, be sure to listen to us. We're on all across the country tomorrow and Sunday. Sports Investors Daily. First show starts in Pittsburgh at 7 a.m. Last show on the other side of the country ends over in San Francisco and San Diego, 8 a.m. local time, 11 on the East Coast. So, guys, we're on all day long tomorrow, all day long on Sunday. And we hope you find this podcast fun, exciting, and again, a special thanks to Glenn Cadrez coming in and give you a former NFL player on what it was like to play in the Super Bowl and some certain things with game plans, and that's what this podcast is about. So, guys, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Let's make some money, and we'll check you back next week on the Bet Big, Talk Loud podcast.